Oh Wii U, how I used to love you. You were my favorite smash machine. But then Ultimate came out, and they're kinda useless. Wait a minute. You're not useless yet. I can use you for emulation. So basically I will be hacking my Wii U. I've absolutely no clue how I'm gonna do this. I've absolutely no clue how to do this. I'm not even sure if I can do this. And if I manage to break my system somehow, then I wasted around 200 quid. Fuck, what did I start? This is, however, not necessarily gonna be a tutorial. I'm just mostly just gonna share my journey in making this thing an emulation box. But I will be giving some details, and all the files and guides and descriptions I use to do this will be down in the links below, so you can try it yourself. Now, let's get started!
Finding the custom firmware.
I decided to go on the hacks.guide instructions. The main reason is because it was the first one I found that didn't look like it would come with a shit ton of malware. I also found the instructions were extremely easy to follow, which was of great importance to me, seeing how this is the first time I'm genuinely hacking in a console. Seeing how I am extremely inexperienced, I am not 100% certain this will be the best solution to use. I'm pretty sure that if you got more experience than me, you will find an easier way to do it.
The shit you need.
So what do you need to actually do this? First off, you're gonna need an SD card, a minimum of 16 gigabytes. The one I used was mostly because I had it laying around as a spare, and I can't afford anything bigger at the moment. But I'll probably do upgrade it in the future, and I do recommend you yourself get a bigger one. Not necessarily only so you can store more games on it or you have more options to grow, but during the whole process you have a place where you can actually back up your files just in case you do something wrong. You're also gonna need a shit ton of files. For the process I used, I needed to download at least 14 zip files, and all of them are filled with folders and other files that need to be arranged in a certain way. I'll probably make a download link for all of these, just stored in one zip file, just to make it easier for you, so if you want to try it yourself, you can easily do it. Do make sure you follow the instructions on the website, however, because if you do something wrong, the chance is extremely high that you break your system. Of course, you're also gonna need the Wii U. No shit, Sherlock. What's important to note is that for as far as I've seen, the latest firmware on the Wii U works perfectly with this hack. This could change in the future though if Nintendo decides to get a new update out there, but if you do it now and block any updates in the future, you can just use your system without any problem. You also need a DS Virtual Console game. The hack that I'm using uses an exploit that is present in some of these Virtual Console games. There are multiple you can use, but just go for Dr. Kawashima's brain training. It's the cheapest one. Be aware though that after you've done the whole installation of the Homebrew, make sure you do not delete the Virtual Console game. It will break your system. And of course, you're also gonna need a metric fuck ton of patience. You're basically modifying the internal systems of some very complicated hardware. So if you ever make a mistake and ruin your system, it could have probably been avoided by taking steps more carefully. I even went against my own nature and did everything step for step without skipping anything. That's how sure I wanted to be I did this right.
The actual goddamn process.
The first thing that I'd recommend is to make sure your SD card is any good. You have to make sure your card is formatted in FAT33, and you have to check for any errors. Formatting is straight and forward, I think everybody knows how to do that, and so is error checking. To check for errors, I use the application H2TestW, and be ready to wait for a long time depending on the size of your SD card. I'm happy I went with 16, because if it was any larger, I probably needed to wait for hours or maybe even days. But after everything is checked and working, it's time to start moving some files around. On the website, they give a nicely to follow list with what you need to do and to add and in what order. Do be patient when placing files. I managed to actually fuck up a couple of times because I was working fast and I could read, resulting in me having to start over again, more than once.
Holy shit! That was fucking fast! That only took 2 tries! Wow! Okay, this is fucking ridiculous. It literally stays on the website, it will take many tries. This is my second attempt, and it worked. Holy shit!
From here you get two options. Keep using the browser exploit, meaning you have to do the process over and over again anytime you start up your Wii U, or install the firmware directly on the system. Just like before, the installation of the firmware itself on the system was easy, snappy and done within a couple of minutes. Afterwards I went right away and made it auto-boot itself at startup. This process had so many warning signs around it that I was certain I was gonna fuck something up. But in the end it was just as bloody easy as the rest. So that's the homebrew technically done.
I was extremely surprised by how easy this process actually was. I dreaded the idea of breaking my system by doing something wrong with the installation, but instead, it was done within minutes. My fear was for nothing.
The shite, what I did the shite.
The main reason I did all this was because I really wanted to play some old Game Boy games, and actually mostly GameCube games. Because my Wii is broken, my actual GameCube is missing in action, so I had no other option. Especially seeing how secondhand is kinda hard to get here.
The first thing I wanted to try were some good old Game Boy games.
Basically Pokemon.
And it was up and running pretty quickly. Just went to the Homebrew App Store, downloaded some stuff, later got some runs on the internet, and it was all working without any problems. The only thing that took a little while to find out was how to save your games, but well, that only took me 5 minutes, not even that. But being able to play Game Boy games on the big screen again like I used to do with my GameCube really brings back some good memories. And it really makes me want to get the GameCube emulated on my Wii U pronto. And next up is to get GameCube games up and running. And I need to hack the virtual Wii for that? Come on! Why is there no fucking emulator on the Wii U itself? Fuck it, just gonna try it. Getting GameCube games to work, like everything else, was way easier than I imagined it to be. All it took were 3 files and some game ISOs. ISOs were the hardest part to find. And of course you need to have a hacked virtual Wii for this. But I already did all of that while doing the main installation process.
Several days later.
After testing it for a couple of days, god does it work how good. Being able to play some of my old favorites feels just amazing. I just haven't figured out how to make the GameCube games widescreen yet. I am actually really surprised how well all of this worked. Everything I played ran well, no frame drops, the controllers worked good after a quick update. In the future I probably put some PlayStation and Nintendo 64 emulators on there, but for now this is good.
In conclusion,
I made it work. Somehow. I guess not all miracles are gone yet. So would I recommend you do this yourself? Hell yes I would. It's easy as fuck. And if you followed all the steps, you shouldn't have any problems at all. I'm convinced if you follow the whole process correctly, you can have it done within a day. I do recommend you make a backup of your system. So do the opposite of what I did in that regard. Because if you fuck up, you can still save it. The only challenge for me left now is finding some fucking games.
If you made it this far into the video, I truly want to thank you. I had a lot of fun making this video and spent a lot of time working on it, and well, I hope you really enjoyed it. And I would appreciate it if you would show that you liked it by maybe giving it a like, or subscribe, leave a comment, or I don't know what, or maybe share it with people. Anyway, truly thank you for watching, and maybe till next time.